Hi, this is Gary Kayye. We're at InfoComm 2025, and I'm here in the Audio-Technica booth, and we're going to get a booth tour from Mark Donovan. Now, if you hadn't had a chance to watch the interview with Mark, talking about sort of the positioning of the company and what's new and what they feel about how they develop their products, in fact, feedback on how they develop their products, you can actually go watch that by just going to raypubs.com/InfoComm, type in Audio-Technica in the video search window. You don't even have to put in the dash, but you can. But Mark, I'm going to have you do a quick booth tour, because we've actually shot individual product videos at every place we're going to stop.
Right.
Certainly, your Beamforming Microwave is the most. This is kind of like the stalwart, right? I mean,
it is. You know, we released this a few years ago, and it's been steadily gaining traction. Actually, more so in the last couple of months. Surprisingly, we've actually seen a lot more motion on this because people are starting to realize, you know, this is a little deceiving here. You look at this small box, but to understand the power that's really inside of this, you really got to come over and talk to us, watch the videos, because you know what you have going on inside, the features, the ability to operate with a lot of other products that are out there, make this actually a quite outstanding product. It's not just a piece in a box, you know. Yeah, and we're trying to give you an idea what it's like to kind of come here to the show and see their booth. So actually, if Emily will step back and kind of get a booth shot. And we have a bigger booth this year too, if you didn't notice.
Yeah, I did notice. But one of the features on this that I think is unique is Dante. I think the fact that you integrated Dante is critical, because that's the thing that every integrator wants.
You know what? So when you start talking about Dante and digital audio, years ago, you remember we started talking about this convergence of AV. And it's here, it's gone. That's old news.
Right.
It's a requirement, right?
It's not a want.
No, it's not a want, it's a need, an absolute need. So, you know, in all of our new products, we're really looking on how they can function on a network. Digital audio as well as control, so.
All right, perfect. All right, so where do you want to go next?
Let's wing around over here. So this over here, this is our engineered sound wireless, which is a little bit newer than the ceiling array that we talked about. The engineered sound wireless is a decked band product, wireless system that can do 48 or 96 channels. I think one of the important things that we're talking about this year is the experience we've learned, and against the voice of the customer, about how this is able to operate even in difficult circumstances. So if you have had a situation with similar products operating in that 1.92 gigahertz band that have had problems, then I want to talk to you, because we've discovered why. Right? We know why this has happened, and we've been able to address it directly, so we can have those conversations and hopefully make you feel better about the different options that are out there. Because again, we listened, we understood what the difficulties were, and we've made something that can get around.
And in this case, you have a boundary mic, you have a gooseneck mic, a handheld mic, and a lavalier mic.
Right, so you're going to be able to handle pretty much any application you want. If you're doing education, great. If you're doing boardrooms, great.
And this doesn't require a rack solution, right?
No, there is no rack device at all. So this is the receiver. That's everything. You know, it's Dante. You know, like we were talking about the other ones, it's Dante. We've got the chargers, which are on the network. Actually, you're seeing right here, this is all of the components of the entire system.
Yeah, so it's true plug and play.
Yeah, very much so. Very stripped down.
Where are we heading next? Remember, we've done product videos on each one of these products that we're talking about here.
We're going to try to squeeze in here on System 20 Pro. And one of the reasons I want to push it, I know she's going to have a hard time getting in here. We'll try to move around to the side. The thing about System 20 Pro, so this is, I guess what people would look at is a little bit more budget friendly. It's a lower cost device. This one doesn't have Dante, but it does have some things that may surprise you. We're talking about a system that is, you know, about what, $500 a channel or so, but you can do network control with this. We've got Hughes plugins for this.
Okay.
You know, this is a
so you can use a third-party remote.
Absolutely can.
And it's 4-channel?
It's 4 channels for each half rack space, and we can do up to 20 channels.
So they're daisy chainable.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a link between them that manages all the control, and you have all those form factors as well. But one of the coolest things, so this is the coolest thing that everybody thinks about this, is when you're talking about wireless, how do you remote the antennas from a rack mount device? Well, for us, you just remote the entire transmitters. That's the end of a category.
And to connect it together, just a network cable.
That's it, 100 meters away. And, you know, if you've ever worked with RG cable, you know, it's a pain, it's expensive, you know. This is so much easier to deal with. And that's been the number one thing that our customers have responded to that have felt is, kind of one of the most important features about
Yeah,
this
that's
product.
actually really creative. I saw that when you introduced the product a couple of years ago, and I thought that was very creative.
And this year, like I said, we've got these integrations that we've got with these third-party control companies, and certainly at this price point, if you've got to worry about your budget because I was talking to some education guys last night, and they're always worried about budgets, as we all are. You can get a lot of power in this.
Well, in a lot of education rooms, you don't need more than 4 mics.
Right, exactly.
So you don't need more than 4 inputs.
So that takes care of it.
Your demo room.
Yeah, and so this, I'll let her pan across this. They've actually got a demo going on live right now. So this was our 3rd year of doing this, where we're actually connected to Ohio, through a Teams connection, and that's what you're really going to be listening to. That's what your end users are going to be hearing. So these guys are all able to listen to our applications engineer on the other end, Kayye, who's talking through all these different products to hear it. And then, you've got Dan Pelletier, who is our applications engineering manager, and Chris Mack, who's another one of our applications engineers that are. It's our job to help all these things go smoothly. And we talked about earlier about how we've got that infrastructure in place to be able to help out everybody. This is, actually, you're looking at it now. This is our infrastructure.
Yeah, and I think that's important factors to let people know that you're solidly in the UC space.
Yes, absolutely.
Whether it's Teams, Zoom, Meet, doesn't matter.
Yeah, and you can experience it.
Yeah.
It's not theoretical.
Yeah.
It's absolutely here.
So where are we going next?
So I think that probably we saved the best for last.
All right.
We actually have a 16-foot section on the wall over here, and you can see it's a little crowded, and this is dedicated to all of our partnerships. All right, now, we didn't have enough physical space to put everything down, but you can see we've got product from QSys here. We've got product from Crestron. We've got a data video camera. We've got Extron. We've got Atlona. And then up on the screen, of course, it just went off of it, but all these different logos of these partnerships that we have, because again, we're not operating in a vacuum. We need to be able to operate with everybody else's stuff. Every year, we're expanding the number of products that we're able to cooperate with and coordinate with.
There you
can see there's
your
logos. So there's just a ton of them, from cameras to control systems to DSPs. And I think, to me, this is a real critical part of our success, because we have to be able to operate in that ecosystem. So.
All right, well, like I said, we went around and shot individual product videos on each one of these. So just go to raypubs.com/InfoComm, do Audio-Technica as a search. You'll find all of those. Mark, again, congratulations.
Thank you.
I appreciate you taking the time on day one to do this as well. I know you're really busy. And we got a lot more InfoComm to cover. All of it's at Ray Pubs.